Hey knitters, welcome to PJ Knits. My name is Penny and I live in Central Illinois, and this is my podcast. Welcome. It is Tuesday, July 14th, and I have a lot to talk to you about today, so we'll just get started. Weather report seems to be the thing these days. It is 83 degrees and sunny, and maybe after a while I'll go sit on the porch and do a little knitting. But anyway, let's get into it. I am PJ Knits on Instagram. I am Penny J on Ravelry, and we have a PJ Knits group in Ravelry called PJ Knits as well. And we'd love to have you join us over there. So, opening it up. Oh, guys, knit-alongs. Let's just start with that. Summer of Shawls is starting. It's going on. It's not just starting. It has been going on for some time, and so this is a little thing that I do every summer because it's fun to knit on shawls. They're easy to knit on and take places, and who doesn't need one in the air conditioning if you're allowed to go inside? I even need one here in Shea PJ Knits sometimes. So on Instagram there's a hashtag. It's hashtag Summer of Shawls 2020, and also I am doing PJ Knits Summer of Shawls, and there in our group on Ravelry we're starting to show some shawls that we've been knitting on this summer, but also next Monday, July 20th, I did a YouTube a couple days back about the cast on date for that and how that's going to work, and we are working on Together Apart by Melanie Berg, and you can check in the Ravelry group for the information on how to participate. If you want to do your own all by yourself, or if you want to join with some friends, there's ways to do that as well. So we'd love to help you be a part of Together Apart with us. This goes through Monday, September 21st, so you have plenty of time to knit on this while you're knitting on other things, I'm sure. So anyway, but also if you don't want to knit on this one, join us in the group and give us your shawls that you're knitting on this summer. We'd love to see them. I don't have any progress to show you on my kimono or my shadow shawl. That will have to wait until next time because I've been knitting on some sweaters for the summer tea along as well. And that is our second KAL we're doing. It is the Summer Tees, hashtag Summer Tees. And I'll talk about the one that I finished, which is Rocket Tea. Just finished it yesterday, blocked it yesterday. I'll talk about it later in the finished objects, but this was part of the Summer Tea as well. I am still working on, even though the official KAL ended with Nancy Ritchie, her Shelley Summer Top, I am still knitting on that on my second piece, and I am knitting mine out of Cascade Sunseeker. I've talked about this before. I have one piece done. It has a little bit of a sparkle to it, and give you the right side, and I can wear all kinds of things under it. White, red, green we talked about this morning in our Zoom group. So I've got that done. I'm working on the second piece and hope to get that done pretty soon. So I didn't make the end of her KAL, but I'm still putting this in my Summer Tea along. So that's one of the things that I've been, I'm trying to finish up this week. There is a new pattern out that I had that I wanted to show you all, and then I'm thinking about knitting this summer yet. This is called The Lovely Tea by Kimberly McAlinden, and she works at Do You Knit. And so I bought this pattern, and I don't know, I'm not starting it yet, but I'm hoping to knit on it this summer too, as part of the Summer Tea along. If you remember from a couple of podcasts ago, I talked about the V-Back Tea by Jamie Hoffman, and I had cast this on with my 3 Irish Girls yarn. And I kind of sort of decided to put this on hold until January, twofold, so that this can be a part of the contest for next year's ZK. And then also because I'm hoping I might change my mind on the yarn and the sizing that I want to do. So this one I'm kind of put on hold for now because there's so many other things that I want to be knitting on. But I wanted to just mention that. So I think I'm kind of going to put that one on hold till then. Next up, Soundtrack Pullover by Marie Green. I wasn't going to do this, and I decided, what the heck? it's supposed to be it's our 4th annual 4-day knit along, and a few of my local Peoria Knitwet group were doing it, and I decided what the heck, and I went to my stash. I had yarn that I could knit it out of, and so I decided to knit along with them. I bought my yarn probably 3 years ago at Stitches Midwest, and it's going to be perfect. I will show you. What I'm using is their Valley Yarns Sunderland, and I don't think they make it anymore, but it's 100% alpaca, and I'm doing it in navy and winter sky. And here's mine so far, and I've split it, so now it's just some mindless knitting for TV that I'm going to be knitting on. But that's the Soundtrack pullover, part of a KAL that started the 1st of July. I started the 3rd of July. I didn't get around to doing it till then, and goes through August 1st. She has a Facebook group where she checks in, and so I've been knitting on it a little bit. So that's the 3rd KAL that I am participating in this summer. I love this, and I think it's going to be comfy cozy for come this winter. And then the 4th KAL that I want to talk to you about is Dishcloths for Charity. This is done through Comforting Crafts. Brittany, who is a subscriber and a group member, she is B-Wing on Ravelry, and she is knitting dishcloths for charity, and they will go to her, and her her group is the Comforting Crafts group, and there are 5 along with me co-hosting this knit along, and we're trying to get her goal to 500 dishcloths for a charity this by the end of December. So if you'd like to knit along with dishcloths, that'd be wonderful. We'll talk about it in the group as well. Be sure that they're 100% cotton, and then when you're ready, if you're local to me, you can arrange to get them to me, and I can gather them all up and get them to Brittany, or you can contact her out on Ravelry under B-Wing and arrange to get them to her. So I think it's a great charity that she's doing. These are for El Salvador, and they love the cotton dishcloths. So I'm hoping that you'll join me with that when you got some spare time and some spare cotton and knit along. We'll talk about and show more about those next time on the podcast. But I wanted to just give you those informations on KALs that are going on, so you can see that I am super, super busy knitting this summer. Thank goodness for retirement. Finished Objects, Rocket Tea by Tanis Lavallee. Blocked this yesterday, and I was concerned about a couple of things. Was the I-cord bind off, and that's not the best view to show you, but you know how I've talked about my arms before, but I really ended up liking this very much so. And what I did is, you can see from her pattern that it is really just a couple of repeats of that. And I opted, as I always do, to cover the arm a little bit. What can I say? And so I did that as well. I bought an extra skein of both the finger weight and also the mohair. And I really didn't get, for my size, I did a size 41. I really did not have to use much of it at all. The yarn is, I've talked about before, is Knitted Wit. Their finger weight, and then her mohair, Fairy Floss is what she calls it. And the colorway is Under the Sea. And I did not lengthen it, so I was very pleased when I got done. I may have lengthened it a little bit. I went to 20, did 22 inches from up here. I measured from 22 inches. And so when I was done, I was a little concerned that the bottom would not come down far enough. But when I blocked it, it was perfectly fine. And I'll stand up. So I was very pleased with what I got there. And I liked that little ridge that is on there. So I'm really, really pleased about this particular finished object that I've gotten done. So, Rocket Tea. Okay, books and bags. I was going to show you a book, and then I decided to show you something I got in the mail from some friends at work. It's a coloring book. It's called Retirement Coloring Book for Adults Relaxation, and I just think it's super, going to be super fun to do. I got this from my friend Linda and her son Adam. So I had to share that. That's my book for this time. And then as far as bags, I got a pochette from Espace Tricot I ordered with some mail call stuff that I'll show you. I'd seen this on their, when they podcasted some time ago, and so I thought, what the heck, one more bag wouldn't hurt for notions. And this one fits perfectly in a 31 bag that I have that I've been taking down to the riverfront. So you can see that you can put your little stuff in it. Sits open, quite nice. There we go, that way. And that's super, super fun. So it fits down a little pocket that I have in my bag that I take down to the riverfront, and then zips back up, easily to pull out. Loving that. So that is books and bags. Mail call. Well, also in that Espace Tricot order, I ordered some Rosa Pomar. And I had seen on Instagram someone that knit a Joji super simple summer sweater out of these two colorways. And I thought, out of a red and a kind of a creamy white. And so I ordered these when they were finally, this one was out of stock for a while. And so I ordered that. And I got that with my pochette order. And it is Mungo yarn. And that's about the only place I could find it, other than if you went out of the country for it in Portugal. So I was this close to doing that. And I decided that it would be best just to wait. And so that's what I did. Colorway is 007, 007, and 001. So I thought those would be super, super cool. And I'm doing, as I said, I'm hoping for later for this fall, the super simple summer sweater. And of course I will lengthen that as well. Okay, so those are the regular segments that we would talk about. ZK at Home. That was in June, and we participated virtually, which was a wonderful event. Amy and Megan of Stockinette Zombies put it on virtually, and it went all weekend long. And I had the best time doing this. It was so much fun, and I know it was a lot of work for them creating all the Zoom things, but it was almost as nice as being there, but not quite. There was no hugs. There was one thing that I particularly liked that I'll talk about in a minute that really lent itself more towards a virtual environment than in person. But anyway, we got our little name tags, and I made a lanyard. They sent a little lanyard pattern, and so I did a little lanyard. I didn't wear it, but still. Anyway, it was fun to do that. And so there were hangouts all weekend long that you could attend. On Tuesday night, we got together with our group, the fun table, the table mates, and got together and had a little pre-ZK meeting, and that was fun to reach out and meet with those gals. And then starting on Wednesday night, starting at noon, ZK had a goodie bag reveal and a welcome event on Wednesday, and then during that goodie event, and then what happened is they sent them all out afterwards, all of the bags, goodie bags, out afterwards. And so I'll just show you some of the things that were in my bag that I got. I got a really cool mug that I'll show you next time. I don't have it with me right now, but I got a new pen, which is this one right here, and right here. Sorry, right here, right there. And this bag was a couple of years ago, was 2018 that we got as part of our goodie bag. Every year there's a new bag. And so we got a new pen in it, a postcard that I'm going to put on a memory board in my room, a skein of yarn. There was 3 different kinds of colorways of yarn, 3 different vendors of yarn. And mine came from Mitchell's Creations, which I've never, ever had any of her yarn. So this will be fun to try. Lagniappe sock, it's a finger weight, and this one's called Phoenix Rising ZK 2020. And I'm going to pair that with a black that I got from Sun Valley Fibers that I ordered as part of the shopping event. And I'm going to pair those two together and make, I think, one of Stephen West shawls is my plan. I think that'll be fun. So not in my colorway, but I thought that would be perfect to venture out in that. So that's going to be something that I cast on later, maybe for part of the shawls thing, I don't know. And then we got a new bag. This is the wax canvas and has ZK at Home fabric on the inside. And also I'm looking forward to, because it's like the Madder Root bags, it has one of those clasps. So I know that as I play with this, it will scrunch up and get really, really super, super scrunchy and fun. So that was all part of the goodie bag, and you could do it in different increments. If you just wanted to get the mug, you could just get the mug. But I went for all of the things. So that was on Wednesday. Then on Thursday, people did breakout sessions and would do like an hour at a time where we Zoomed. All of this was Zoom. Amy started it with an organize this segment, and I got some really great ideas. She is so organized in her yarn management and her stash, and so I'm going to incorporate some of those in my yarn room as well. Debbie Jackson showed us a kind of like a nightstand table that she had next to her knitting chair in her main room that had all of her stuff put into drawers. And so it was neatly put away. And so I have been on the lookout for something to go with my furniture here as well. I think I'm going to steal her idea, and I told her that as well. So there were some great ideas about how to organize stuff, put your maybe bins or bags of specific designer yarn or event yarns, because we're always knitting starting in January for the ZK contest. Put all your ZK yarns in one so you have them readily available to go to. A bin for gift yarn, which I am totally doing because I have some gift yarns and I want to knit on those, and I want to be sure that they're all where I can easily go to them. So there were some great ideas for Organize This, and that I really enjoyed that. There was a podcast meetup for an hour, and I got to tell about my podcast as well. So welcome to anybody who came via ZK through that forum. We are so glad that you came, and do me a favor and subscribe and like. I'd appreciate that, everybody. So anyway, so that was one of the sessions. And then Thursday night was bingo, and I didn't win any prizes, but they did fine how they did that. And then on Friday was the designer showcase. And this is the piece that I thought was really good about doing it via Zoom, because we got an hour with each designer. And so you learned a lot about them. They showed their designs. They showed how to, what's coming up. They showed how to style them. And so I really think that that was so, that was such a good way of doing that, and really got us to know the designers themselves. And I think that really worked out. Some that I, ones that I could watch. I watched a new to me Shayna Scott, Yumi Yarns. She has a berry pie shawl, and then there's a new pattern she's coming out with. It's called Dragon Force that I'm going to be looking for, and she's under Yumi Yarns. And so that was something that brought, that came to me, and I without ZK, I maybe would have found her eventually, but not initially. I wouldn't have. And then a favorite of mine is Shayna Cohen. As you know, I've knit her Magellancho, and she's got several cool patterns out now. And this one that I want to do for this winter is called Air Hugs Wrap. Air Hugs Wrap. And there you go. Done out of 2 different yarns. And so I'm looking forward to that. Shayna was one who styled a lot of, is doing some styling Instagram videos. And I really, I follow her, and I like her. She does a lot of garter stitch, which I love as well. And then Julia Swart, We Sheep, she has a couple of really cool patterns, and I knew her patterns before. She has For You, and then she also has pinstripe socks that I printed off because I think those would be fun to do something a little different in socks. And then Lisa K. Ross, which is Paper Daisy 1. I have one of her tank patterns. It's called Cityscape Tank. And then she has put out a shawl collection called Close to Home. And if you bought it for a certain price, and you got all 3 of them, and the third one's coming out later this week, I want to say, this week. So I'm looking forward to that. And Lisa K. Ross, the one that I have yarn that I'm trying to pick out of my stash, is called Midwestern Afternoon, and she's from Indiana, which is close by. So I was looking at that one and loving her stuff. And then a really super fun thing, Imagine Landscape. I watched this one just for fun. I thought, okay, yeah, I'm telling you, I see gnomes in my future. Sarah Shira, Never Not Gnoming. And gnome, pun intended. And she has a knit-along, mystery knit-along of a gnome, new gnome that's supposed to start up next week or so. I'm not going to do that until I do these, but I thought these were so much fun to see. And she had them. You have to go out and check out her Instagram feed and how she shows these, because they're so cute in little wagons and things like that. And I think that's what drew me to, is the way she decorated with them. So anyway, and then next was Megan, which is Just Run Knit, and has a new pattern out. And I bought one of her old patterns while I was at it, literally over the top. And then this is the latest one, which is Summer Shandy Top, that came out right before ZK, out of Queen City Yarns. And this one is fun too. Very much like what I'm wearing now, and I would add sleeves to it as well, but not using mohair. And so this is a Megan Williams. And then I watched Janice Flicker, who has a pattern that I will show next time perhaps in the Tees collection, which is the Perfect Summer Tee, and that was fun. And it's always fun to watch these and just see how they're designing my things. So I got a lot of new information on designers, and I was so, that was the piece that normally when you're a ZK, you go from table to table, and you really, and it's all these people crowded around, so you really don't get to know the designer that well. And I felt like I really got to know them better, and even more than I would have. And then on Friday night, the keynote speaker was Adela from Lola Bean Yarn, sharing her story. And then on Saturday, it was Market Day, which was the virtual day. I will say that I didn't buy as much. I bought 2 skeins of black yarn. I bought some Lolo Bean yarn that won't come till August. But because it wasn't tactile, I wasn't seeing what everybody else was buying at the time. I wasn't following the leader. So I really didn't. I went light on my yarn purchases. Bought a t-shirt. I'll show you that in the future episodes. So there was time overnight for me to go, because I knew what I was looking for, and I could shop my stash first. So I maybe didn't spend as much as I normally would have had it not been virtually. There was a couple of website issues, but easily they were fixed within an hour or 2 after into it. So you had all day, and the nice thing is all of the vendors that participated gave us vendor codes so we could get a percentage off. So I thought that was super, super kind of them at this point in time. So anyway, it was fun. On the virtual market day, they also did hour-longs with some of the vendors, the dyers, or they had an Instagram, either on Zoom or on Instagram. So I thought that was kind of a really smart idea for them to showcase their yarns and their products. So anyway, I can't tell you enough about how much fun ZK was. It was nice to be able to do it via Zoom and to see everybody. And then my table mates and I We spent a lot of evenings together too, just chit-chatting and about things in general. So it was nice. It was a very nice weekend, and I was fortunate that I was retired and that I have a husband who, was not sitting around all the time watching me. And so I was able to visit with them, and so I do appreciate that. It was a fun thing. Last Friday, I did a virtual ZK Zoom with my 2.75 knitting campers with Meg Swanson, and that seems to be the way things are going these days. So that was fun to connect with all of them. There was probably maybe less than 100 of us, but it was, well, there was, because normally Knit Camp doesn't have 100 people. Anyway, it was 2 pages worth on my laptop. But it was so much fun to connect with them because I already have ideas for knitting camp projects for next year. So that was a whole lot of fun. Zoom has been a great thing during this time when we were unable to get large groups together. I'm sad that all of my functions are not happening, but I know I'm not the only one. So anyway, it has been fun talking to you today, getting you caught up, and we'll be back in a couple of weeks, and I'm hoping to have some progress on my Together Apart shawl. Thank you to new viewers. Thank you for old viewers. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, knit on with confidence and hope through all crisis. Bye.